Serious therapists, what is something people are afraid to tell you because they think it's weird, but that you've actually heard a lot of times before? Recurring intrusive thoughts about harming others can be hurting/killing someone, or sexual fantasies about children or relatives. Usually people take a while to admit those. The reality is that if you are having them frequently, you aren't dangerous. You probably have OCD and are terrified that you might be dangerous. Clients become quite fearful of admitting that they weren't successful since the last time they had a session. This could include not succeeding in using a coping skill that they're learning about, or not being able to complete a homework assignment I gave them. Humans aren't robots, and therapy is a lot of work. That being said, I don't expect people to be perfect as they start to work on themselves in a positive way. It takes time to really commit to change, especially in relation to trauma or conflicted views that an individual holds. I feel as if the client doesn't want to let me down as their therapist, but these failure events are just as important to talk about as successful moments. Intrusive thoughts about sex with family members, or, in their mind, nymphomania as a result of childhood sexual trauma, and adult hypersexuality isn't often discussed as one of the PTSD symptoms, so people walk around with so much shame about it. Edit: wow, I just looked at the upvotes and awards and want to say thanks, but truly the best thanks is to help raise more awareness and reduce social stigma so more people feel comfortable seeking help. Easier said than done, obviously, but it is also why I share my own experience. A common one in the time I was a therapist was simply "I don't know." You'd be surprised how reluctant people are to admit that they don't know why they're feeling how they are. But that's exactly why you're, or were, I'm not a therapist anymore, sat there with me, so we can figure out why together. It always put me in mind of a line from America by Simon and Garfunkel. "Kathy, I'm lost," I said, though I knew she was sleeping. "I'm empty and aching and I don't know why." Some of the most common ones have been visual and or auditory hallucinations and suicidal thoughts. I usually hear "I don't want to be put in the hospital" or "I don't want you to think I'm crazy." Also, basically anything sexual. I'm not going to judge you for being into BDSM, fetishes, etc. Honestly, I've probably heard it before and I'm not here to judge you. Same goes with any non-consensual experiences, especially if we're working through trauma. I'd say a common one is believing that there's something innately, irreparably wrong with them that makes them unable to ever truly fit in. For a lot of people it's such a deeply ingrained belief that it can be extremely painful to acknowledge or express, regardless of the level of personal success in their lives. Two topics come up with regularity: when someone discloses to me that they were sexually abused as a kid, and/or when someone is experiencing suicidal ideation. Both are something I hear from clients every single day, and so I don't find it weird at all. But, when I have someone in front of me who's talking about it for the first time, I know it's important to validate the fact that even though I might be talking about this for like the 5th time that day, they have never talked about this ever, and are in need of gentle care to feel safe. As someone in the substance abuse field, I know that it's difficult for clients to tell me they got high with a parent, but it's something I get told fairly regularly. It's kinda sad. I'm support worker, social worker, not a therapist. I've had clients too scared to tell me their accomplishments because they think they should only be bringing their problems to case management, and that if we see them getting better that we won't care/prioritize them as much. Another is hard drugs. We don't endorse it by any means, but we have to know if we need to keep an eye out for inappropriate behavior and overdoses. We never get mad at them for being high, we just want to send them to their room to sober up. Hidden sexual dreams and fantasies about family members. More common than people think, and often stays that way and doesn't really interfere in the person's close relationships unless they allow it. Many things we dream or think are unconscious and involuntary, and the root of such things is often nonsensical. That they haven't had sex with their partner in years and don't know how/if they will ever have sex with their partner again. There is so much shame around sex in the USA that a lot of people are scared to talk to their partner about their sexual needs. Time goes by, and suddenly they haven't had sex in 3, 5, 10 years. It starts for a lot of people in their 40s and 50s. A lot of people, falsely, believe there is something wrong with their marriage because they fantasize about people other than their partner. Usually it's sex-related. Shame about their desires or kinks is common. Gender questioning is another. Some people are ashamed of things they did in childhood or adolescence, haven't ever told anyone and think the team will be horrified. We have heard everything. Everything. I'm always compassionate and always understand why we do the things we do. I've yet to have anyone bring something I can't get. That they do not know what they enjoy doing. Often they have people in their life, including therapists, say try to do something fun today or ask what do you like to do when you have free time? Many people I work with do not know what those are. Once I explain that I dislike these statements/questions because they assume people should know the answer, and that many people don't, I can watch as they relax, take a deep breath, and say something to the effect of "Oh my, that's so good to hear. I have no idea what I like to do." That's part of the problem. More often than not they feel like they should know and that everyone else their age has it figured out. They are embarrassed to say that they don't know when in fact not knowing is very common. I couldn't even try to count how many clients I've had this conversation with. On the flip side, I was afraid to tell my therapist about my suicidal fantasies. I was always told when you talk about suicide people assume you're seeking some attention or special treatment or that they lock you up in a psych ward. When I finally brought it up was told that's not true and a lot of people fantasize about suicide, it is normal. I felt silly for thinking I was weird. That they don't like their family members, are angry/want to stop communication with their parents etc. I work in a country which is more culturally collectivist, so not wanting anything to do with your parents makes you an asshole in the current cultural sense. We deal with this almost on a daily basis. There is deep and profound shame in this, and when we find that line of "oh, it might be that your parents are toxic to your mental well-being/trigger your trauma," many of my clients actually get visibly angry with me. Cultural psychology is so important, cause when I first moved here I had my American/European hat on. Oh boy, did I need to adjust. Edit, I'm in Ukraine. Women often feel really ashamed when they tell me they are burnt out on being a parent or that they never want to have kids. I wish all of them knew how common this thought is. Being tired of being a mother. There's this social thing of loving your kids and they should be the first thing in your life, but having a child is messy and a real hard work. Is normal to just want to take a break once in a while from all that responsibility. I'm usually more afraid that I'm boring them. Oh, you have anxiety about your normal job and normal family and we've been talking about it for a year now? Let's party. L. Hypersexuality after some sort of sexual trauma. Licensed professional counselor here. Pretty much everything. But a common one is secret feelings. Secret resentment towards a spouse or the difficulties of being a parent. Lost attraction in a spouse. Private daydreams and sexual fantasies. Seems like every time someone tells me I have this really weird daydream I'm always having, they then tell me their variation of the suffering martyr daydream. http://virgil.is/western.edu/till/dag/lol/daydreaming.html #:text equals suffering%20 martyr%20 daydreams%20 are %20 built. The %20 daydreamer %20 was %20 all %20 along, so common it has a name.